Senator Reid has laid out the devastating consequences of H.R. 1, which the Republicans have put forward as their plan to cut the budget. Devastating. It's a jobs killer. It's a killer for the middle class. And they said they'd have a vote on it. Now they don't want to vote on it. Well, we're going to have a vote on it. It's very important that we have the American people understand the various plans to cut the deficit. Well, one of the things in H.R. 1 of the many is a huge, huge cut to the Environmental Protection Agency. And there's 2 points I want to make, and then I'm going to turn it over to my friends for the remaining time. And that is that in 1970, the Clean Air Act was passed. The vote in the Senate was 73-0. The vote in the House for the Clean Air Act was 374-1. Richard Nixon signed the Clean Air Act. H.R. 1 destroys the Clean Air Act by giving the largest cut of any agency to the Environmental Protection Agency, and then, as if that's not enough, prohibiting the EPA from enforcing pollution laws. In 1977, there were the Clean Air Act amendments signed by Jimmy Carter. There wasn't even a roll call vote. It was so popular. In 1990, George Herbert Walker Bush signed the Clean Air Act amendments. So 2 out of the 3 presidents were Republicans. This passed 89-10 in the Senate and 401-25 in the House. The last point I'll make is this. The Clean Air Act and the EPA are strongly supported still by the American people. The only place we have a lack of support is right here in the Congress by our Republican friends primarily. The American Lung Association says 69% think the EPA should update the Clean Air Act with stricter air pollution limits. 68% believe Congress should not stop the EPA from enforcing Clean Air Act standards, which is just what H.R. 1 does. And 69% believe EPA scientists, not Congress, should set pollution standards. So our friends on the other side, through H.R. 1, are acting as if they have all the brilliance in the world, all the scientific, credentials in the world. Well, they don't. Look at this picture. I say to my colleague from Maryland, these are the most difficult times when the air is dirty on these children. This is a beautiful child. She can't breathe, and she has asthma. And the reason we passed the Clean Air Act is because of kids like her and others who are gasping for air, literally. And the other thing I want to show you is since we have put the Clean Air Act into place in the 70s, this is an incredible chart that shows a significant drop in smog-related health advisories in Southern California, the most polluted area. So look at this. We have gone from 166 days where there were warnings for people to stay indoors to 0 days in 2010. The Republicans in H.R. 1 devastate the EPA's budget, plus they tell them they can't enforce the Clean Air Act. Let me just say this. If my Republican friends want to repeal the Clean Air Act, just bring it on, and we'll have a debate here. Don't do it through the guise of deficit reduction.